Ever since the release of We Are Not Your Kind, Slipknot fans and music fans in general immediately compared this album to the previous one, Point 5, The Great Chapter, arguing over which is better. There seemed to have been a lot more hype around the release of We Are Not Your Kind, and a lot more welcoming songs to the mainstream audience. I, for one, love both albums, but since they released, I have always preferred Point 5, The Great Chapter. We Are Not Your Kind really has grown on me a lot since it first came out, though. Ever since I started listening to a lot more, they've become pretty much neck and neck. So it brings me to this, as we throw both albums into the arena, head to head, to the death. Maybe not to the death. And here we go. '19 versus Insert Coin. When I first did the rundown of how this versus series was going to go, I stated that I would be taking out interludes and overall just songs there to intro into another song that serve really no other purpose than just that. And that is the case with this album as well. But the case of 19 and Insert Coin, they are more than just intro songs. They actually do have their own substance to them. Which of these two songs gets their album started on the better foot? 19 not only does a great job of kicking off its album, it itself is a great song and does a really great job of pumping you up. Insert Coin sounds like something completely different, like it's from a totally different band, like Kraftwerk. It has trippy sound effects that have a real swelling quality to them. I feel though the substance of 19 takes it here for me. Sarcastrophe versus Unsainted. The battle of the true opening tracks, and this one is hard for me because I love both these songs. I still remember back when Unsainted first dropped, and it was a breath of fresh air, even if the chorus does sound like Best Day of My Life. But the riffs in Sarcastrophe, especially the bridge riff, are just fantastic. The song just has that old school Slipknot adrenaline hit to it, and it introduces you to saying, oh, hey, we're back, baby. And you get to chant with Corey. That's always fun. I cannot deny how awesome the intro to Unsainted is, though. Honestly, I feel they should have moved Insert Coin or just dropped it all together and just used Unsainted as the true intro to the album. Whereas Sarcastrophe has the killer bridge riff, Unsainted has the killer main riff. The chorus of Unsainted also brings you back to their time of peak popularity. The song combines their classic aggression and the sound that made them popular with the masses. And of course, Guitar Hero. That pushes this battle to a tie. AOV versus Birth of the Cruel. I'll tell you right off the bat, AOV, or Approaching Original Violence, wins this one for me, hands down. This song is savage and fully embraces its title. The high impact punching rhythm before the chorus really gets me going. And Corey sings his ass off in the chorus. And the song just builds on itself and gets better and better as it continues. I love this song. Birth of the Cruel starts off with a very industrial metal sound to it. And it's very, very different. I somewhat wish it stuck with that style instead of its contrasting styles throughout. I like parts of the song, but the chorus, at least the end of it, is very lackluster. The Devil and I versus Nero Forte. I'll always remember how bad I jumped the first time I was blasting Devil and I in the car. When it first kicks in, it gets you. This song has so much going for it. It's pretty much impossible not to headbang to the main riff. Then it lulls you in to the, softer, melodic, uneasy verse, and this kicks you back in the face again. It's a song that has been accepted amongst the classics for good reason. Death Because of Death is the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan of metal song names, but it is also an interlude, so it was disqualified. What this means is that Devil and I now has to come up against one of my all-time favorite Slipknot songs now. I adore the riffs throughout this song, to the point where I actually just sat down and learned this song. It is a blast to play. It also quite possibly contains the catchiest chorus to grace a Slipknot song in their history, and that is saying something. This is an amazing matchup, and this could be seen as an upset, but the underdog Nero Forte takes it for me. Kill Pop versus Critical Darling. Kill Pop is such an interesting song that, if I remember correctly, it was completely written by Clown. It has a severely haunting atmospheric feel to it as it progresses, embracing its inner darkness as it goes in for the bridge and chorus. The song has been a bit polarizing for fans, as some just call it a Stone Sour song in a Slipknot disguise, but we aren't going to go over that right now. I personally am on the side of loving this song. Critical Darling is actually a very good song to go up against it, as it itself is also a little funky. The main riff is pretty brutal, and it has a stop nature to it, which they don't use that much. The part that gives it the quirk though is the melody of the chorus. While I do like it a lot, like a lot, there is just something that's a little too funky about it. What helps push it ahead of Kill Pop for me though is the bridge. Something about it just sits right with me and helps to drive the rest of the song. Skeptic versus Liar's Funeral. Another great matchup as we pit two of the heaviest songs in the respective albums against each other. Skeptic is an onslaught that drives the old school sound into the modern times, as well as serving as a true tribute to a fallen friend. Singing along with the chorus in this one is a great ride. Then the breakdown takes it to the next level. Funeral is a haunting acoustic song that has elements of death and black metal as it kicks into other guitars. It is truly a savage song in its own right, and it put up a good fight, but Skeptic takes it. Lech versus Red Flag. Lech lets its presence be known right off the bat. Slows down and speeds up like a masterful racing driver. Song is heavy as it comes in parts. Red Flag starts off with a riff that really reminds me of Surfacing. The song is also a mosher's dream with its slamming drums. And the guitar riff in the chorus has a serious groove to it. It also evolves throughout the song. For as much fun as Lech is, Red Flag takes the checkered flag. Goodbye versus Spiders. Goodbye, man. Straight up had me in tears the first time I heard it. And depending on my mood of the day, it still does. Especially how many times I've had to say goodbye in the last few years. But again, we're not going to get into that. It's a beautiful song and you can feel the real emotion pouring out throughout. As much as I love the quirkiness of Spiders, and I listen to it quite often, it has to say goodbye to this W. Nomadic versus Orphan. Nomadic is a song that seamlessly transitions from Goodbye. And it's a pretty perfect transition. The drums really go off during the chorus of this song. Where it lacks me though is the guitars. Sound good, don't get me wrong, but it also just sounds like something they've done before. For Slipknot, it sounds like a generic Slipknot riff. It does have a fairly sexy solo though. What it has to go up against though is what a lot of fans have coined their favorite song of the album. While the intro and the vast majority of it are pretty great, I don't enjoy the chorus at all. The lyrics are just too cheesy for me, and that's even by metal cheese standards. Both songs have elements I like and don't like that much. Overall, I think Orphan takes it. Its positives really hold it up. The chorus, while yes, I said I don't like, really only the end of it that I don't like. The rest is fine. If it had a better closing line, it'd be a borderline perfect song to me. The One That Kills the Least versus My Pain. We get the return of the melody from 19 in The One That Kills the Least, and you gotta love a great callback. The song has heavy drums, heavy riffs, and a great chorus. My Pain is a very long song by their standards, and it's not even really a true song really to me. It's just a really long transition piece. This one was easy. Custer versus Not Long for This World. I'm not wasting your time. Custer wins. The -1 versus Solway Firth. Oh man. This brings us to the final matchup, and it is a damn juicy one. We Are Not Your Kind is only one behind. -1 has one of the best riffs of its entire album, and kicks a ton of ass throughout its runtime. The groove is also too damn hard to deny. But Solway Firth is a monster of a song, and it contains some of my favorite riffs of all time from Slipknot. Main verse and the bridge riffs go from groove to damn near thrash. The song will go down as a classic in the fandom and wins this matchup. So they ended up tied, or did they? If you're paying attention, there's actually one more song on the Gray chapter, but We Are Not Your Kind has run out of songs. But when you go back and look, I cannot understand for the life of me why All Out Life was excluded from We Are Not Your Kind. The main draw of that song is chanting We Are Not Your Kind. They said they wanted to keep it a separate song, to celebrate what it was. But they named the next album after its main substance. They somewhat righted that wrong by including this track on the Japanese special edition. All Out Life is truly a great song, and it took the metal world by storm. With that being said, I cannot give it the win in good faith over Rain. Rain is such a deep, dark, heavy, beautifully haunting song that serves as such a perfect end cap for its album. And if I'm including bonus tracks, even if that song should have been included from the start, I can't ignore the bonus tracks from Point 5 The Great Chapter then. And I, for one, love Override. That song, if you haven't heard it because it's a bonus track, it's a great song. But even on its own merit, Rain wins this matchup for me. And in doing so, has won this entire battle for the Great Chapter. We Are Not Your Kind is still a fantastic album, but the Great Chapter is deeper in its messages and in tributes, and to me, deserves this victory. Take care.